Hey y'all.
How you doing?
I love how my hey y'all is always the
I know,
same.
they're always the same, always consistent.
It's gonna become a signature. Hey y'all.
Little raspy voice.
What episode are we on? 5. Okay, that's 10. 5.
I know, that's what I just did.
Okay, take her one when she already seen double. Okay.
I'm crying. Hey
Episode
guys,
5.
we're back.
Yes, this is exciting.
Yeah, I am excited.
Every time we record, I get excited.
Excited,
every time,
yeah.
more and more.
It feels like it's too long.
It is.
Between,
It is.
you know.
I agree.
Yeah, but
They
it's still
agree too.
excited every time we do.
I know
it.
y'all
Yeah.
agree.
So today we're gonna do something a little bit different. Kind of want to get the audience involved and kind of see how y'all feel. These past couple of episodes, I think we're like, they've been more like how everyone plays their part in a relationship, as in how other people affect each other, and not more about how we affect ourselves. So I think we have, before you can even talk about relationships and keep having those conversations, you have to be self-aware.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be self-aware. I'm
Most important.
such an advocate of progression. I can honestly admit I was not always that person. I was that person was, this is me, take it or leave it kind of person. But as I've gotten older and went down my journey of being self-aware is such a beautiful journey to me. And like that progression and knowing that you just don't fucking know everything.
Yeah.
And you don't.
And you can evolve.
Right. Or
From
knowing,
where you're at.
Exactly.
You don't gotta stay there.
Or knowing the part that you play, how you affect other people.
There we go.
And it's like, that's so important to me. And sometimes it sucks. It's uncomfortable. But growth is uncomfortable. And I honestly believe that those moments are uncomfortable. So I asked the ladies today with me to take the 5 love language quiz. I think I seen a quote the other day that says, you have to love your partner in their language and not yours.
Yep.
So I think it's important.
Oh, that's so hard. Just even hearing that statement, I'm like,
because it's important. Because I remember having conversations with people, right? Or the stuff I went through. And you're like, I don't know why they not like what I'm doing. I'm doing all this for them. I'm buying these gifts and stuff like that. And I don't understand why they not phased. Because maybe that's not their love language. So the 5 love languages are acts of service, quality time, gift giving, words of affirmation, and
Acts of service.
did I say acts of service?
Yeah, I think she said acts of service.
Receiving physical touch.
Physical touch,
touch, right? So for me personally, my number 1 love language is acts of service, and I'm not surprised at all that that's my love language. I'm not, because like
She bougie.
because people get so was surprised when if they I come home and the house is clean, or to know that little pet peeves of mine are taken care of, cleaning the kitchen. You never know that people don't know that cleaning the dishes and wiping down the counter is all one task.
I'm crying.
And I didn't know that until some other people do. I'm like, wow, you wipe down the counter after washing the dishes. So little stuff so when I see my significant other do that, I be like, I like that. And they really
crying.
excited. Or I come home, my house been fabuloso. I see the lines for the house being, that gets me excited. You about to get it tonight. You go ahead and make this house like fabuloso.
You do that.
You do that. So I'm I wasn't surprised at all. But at the time when I did take the 5 love language, I had the person I was dating take it. And it kind of, when they took it and I got their results, it kind of made me check myself. Because I had learned that their love language was words of affirmation. And as much as love language can play a part to positivity, it plays a part to negativity as well.
Yeah. Are them feeling unloved? Because
with words of affirmation being her love language, the way I said things to her hit her harder. Because that's the way she accepts love. So it was actually used against her as well when I used it. So it made me check myself. I'm no wonder what I say. Little stuff, I'm really, that's a big deal. But if that's the way you love, when that stuff is taken out of context or used negatively, you take it differently. And that kind of made me check myself more, the things that I was doing. And that's when I learned that you have to love in the way they love.
Yeah.
So I always think it's important, I want everyone to go take that quiz and encourage your partner to take that quiz as well too. Because I feel like our atmosphere of our relationship was different after that. It helped us understand each other a little bit more because you're like, oh, okay. It made her kind of continue what she was doing. She's like, okay, that makes sense. So this does work for you. And for me, it's like, okay, let me not do that no more because that does affect you a little bit more than I thought. So I thought that was interesting for my results.
Yes,
What was your second one?
My second one, I think it was...
Did you get them in order?
Right. So my second one was quality time. My third was receiving gifts. The fourth one was physical touch, and the last thing was words of affirmation.
Wow, your fourth one was physical touch?
I know, right? But I think because quality time is really my thing too, as well too. And I thought physical touch would be high, but it kind of makes it. I am a quality time person, but I'm a kind of person that I am good with me watching my shows and us breathing the same air is good enough for me. Like I'm good enough.
Yeah.
Like of course I like being touched, but you doing your thing and us doing, or you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, that's enough quality time for me because I believe that we're not going to always like doing the same things, but we can enjoy doing opposite things together. That's enough for me. But words of affirmation, I'm not surprised it's my last thing because I really give no fucks about words. Like, I really don't. Whether it's positive or negative, even for me, for compliments really doesn't do anything for me.
You're right.
Because I believe if when you put, because power is behind words.
Right.
I believe I give you the power to bring me up, I'm giving you the same power to bring me down. So words of affirmation, like, it's just not my thing. Like, people say something like, where's the actions? Like, I am not big on words.
Because you're in a different phase of how you see relationships, and that's exactly why. Because that's why my results have changed.
You feel like that?
Yeah, my results have changed. Like, let me look at it right quick. So before, like, when I was in my honeymoonish phase where I was like googly-eyed or whatever, my main thing was quality time and words of affirmation. Like, those were the biggest things. And then it was like physical touch and then acts of service and receiving gifts. So that's what it was before, because I was like, oh my God, I just want to be around this person all the time. And like, oh my God, like, I just want to be around you, and, you know, touches and all that stuff. Like, it was just centered around him or whatever like that. And now I'm in a different phase where I'm more selfish.
Right.
So
that's how I feel.
Exactly. So
like, let me change it up.
Exactly. So when I was doing it, I was like, y'all remember when that was it? But it's not it. So now it says my number one is acts of service.
Cause now now it makes more sense though, because now you like, I did this with you, and now I need the proof. So it makes more sense now.
Exactly, because what you just said, like, the quality time already comes naturally. What was the other thing that was before? The physical touch, that's just like natural things. And the words of affirmation, I'm such a words person, but like you said, now I'm in a different phase where words don't mean nothing. Ooh, rap. All right, but it's so crazy. So like I said, acts of service is my number one, because I've always been bougie. So it's like, oh, can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? Like, it just naturally comes. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I'm so appreciative of it. And then receiving gifts as well, because it's like the receiving gifts kind of threw me off a little bit, because it was like, does that mean I'm a materialistic?
That's how I feel. Yeah. That's how I used to feel about it.
Exactly. Wow. But I'm not even gonna say why, because like they said, it's about the thought behind it that matters. Like, you're thinking of me, so you're basically my number ones. My number one and my number two are all about you making sure that I feel loved and you doing something rather than you doing nothing. And like, that's what passed. Exactly. And that used to pass. The quality time or whatever like that used to pass, because it was like, you don't need to do anything. And now it's like, no. Exactly.
Now your presence is not enough.
Exactly.
Your presence is
not enough. I need you to do for me so I can actually know by your actions that you truly care and love me. So those are my number one.
So I kind of agree with Asia. Mine have definitely changed since the last time I took it, and I thought about that on my way here. At first, when I first got into my relationships, it was like a few years ago, it was physical touch and quality time. And then my partner, his was the opposite. It was quality time and physical touch. Like, I just remember we had like kind of the opposite. Words of affirmation was last for me when I took it a few years ago. Now it's first. But it's me words of affirmation that I can trust.
Right.
That's different than you just saying shit and don't mean nothing, because I don't give a fuck. You know, like you said. But you saying it and you doing it, that is like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I can trust you.
Right.
Like, but that's basic shit, right? You would
Right.
think, but because of the situation I'm in, it's turned into something that I need.
Yeah.
And so I think we also have to identify that who we're with can kind of alter the way that we accept love.
Yeah.
Because both of our situations are not the same, but our love language have both changed. And so words of affirmation is now at the top, and then doing acts of service, like doing something for me. Like, this dude I know, he builds shit. That shit is sexy as fuck. I'm like, you can build me something?
Somebody can use their hands.
Woo! That is something else.
She
That's
in
different.
church. She in church.
That's different than you spending time with me and you touching me, because that's effortless. Like
Exactly.
you said, it's something that's something that should just already be happening. But your physical touch is like not that important. But I like to be touched, and I like to
Because it goes
be
hand in hand.
affectionate.
Like, all those things I'm going to make sure you have at the end of the day.
But to actually do something for me,
Yeah.
like you said, cleaning, anything, be coming home and
Everything.
nothing is, I mean, shit is clean. Cooking for
Taking
me,
it off my plate.
taking shit off my plate. That's different than the quality of time and the physical touch.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now mine are definitely acts of service and words of affirmation, but I'm going to
It's
add
hot.
on to, you got on a damn jacket.
Coley is hot.
The air is definitely
The air is on.
The air is definitely on.
It's on 68,
Oh,
bro.
she wants you to turn the fan on.
And then she did it so.
Take the jacket off.
That's what I said.
It's like too much boobish.
It's already too much
Yeah,
boobage. It's in the
boobs
boobage
literally
we
every
see.
episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Audience at the end, let us know how much boobs you see
You
for
see
Asia
for Asia every episode.
We gonna
Last episode. There wasn't no boobs.
let us know how much boobs you see.
So yeah, I would say trust words of affirmation that I can trust. Like, you actually doing the things that you say you were gonna do is definitely a way that I feel loved and I feel important.
I think I don't think looking at my results have not changed. I know I have grown as a person, but I think I have looked at them a little bit differently than before. Because even now, like, receiving gifts, it's like, I can buy my own shit. So at this point, people are like, oh, what you want for Christmas? I said, by the time we get to Christmas, I probably done bought every single fucking thing that I wanted. So by the time we get to Christmas, I probably already done got it. So if you buy me anything, just give me money.
Yeah.
Like, give me a gift card.
Or like, you know, I don't really like people like, oh, well, I can't do this for you. I'm like, I'm not really stressing that. I can buy my own shit. Like, I really, like, me, I'm not at that point anymore. Like, oh, what can you buy me? Like, I'm really past that point of what you can buy me. So I think that's why my languages have not changed. But it does make sense for languages to change.
Yeah.
Especially because you try to figure out what's more important. Like, and you start to reevaluate of how you really want to receive love. Because sometimes you don't know your own love language. And you think you want to receive love one way. You have this perception of that's the way you want to receive love. And then you kind of start getting that way. And you're like, no, I don't like that.
Just like with Asia said about the gifts thing, right? Like, I never wanted to be that type of person, because it's like, well, I don't want to have somebody feel like they have to give me gifts, but I want gifts. That's what it is more for me. It's more about the romance and like, damn, not only did you think about me, but you stood in line, you picked something out, and you stood in line and you bought something for me.
Yes,
That's
stood in
way
line.
different than you literally being like, what do you want? Let me take you to go. You're like, I don't want to pick out what the fuck I want. I want you to pick out something.
You
that I
remember
want.
something.
I think, and which is crazy because, like, I don't love people with acts of service, right? Like, that's not the way I give love, which is so funny because that's not the way I give it. But I do consider myself a very thoughtful person.
They should have a quiz on how you give
Give
love.
love. I mean, I feel like you know.
I'm like you.
I had to think about
But
it. Like, what
after you
did
say the
I
quiz,
do?
you know what you don't do.
Exactly. Because
You know?
usually you love in the language that you know because that's what you know. So usually
Right.
you're giving love like if that's what
Oh,
you
shoot. So you're saying that it still applies to both.
Yeah, it still applies because
And then words of affirmation.
and that's why it's important to know your partner's love language. Like, if acts of service is my love language, and I'm trying to back in the floor, and somebody be like, I don't give a fuck about you back in the floor because that's not their love language. So, but for me, that's why I say it's weird because usually people love within their own love language. I don't because I don't even want to do stuff for people, but
Yeah.
I do. But as in, like, I'm lazy, so like I'm a very thoughtful gift giver. Like I really brag on how thoughtful I am for real because it's really bomb how I can pay attention to people
Yep.
and like make you smile and know that that's what you wanted.
Aw.
Like I really like that's just my thing. Like I feel like I have yet to really come across people actually like that's on the level of my thoughtfulness. Like even down to like the tedious thing. Like I remember my friend when I lived in Florida. I paid attention to the flavor of Gatorade and it was a weird Gatorade flavor, like this lemon cucumber whatever, like it was a weird Gatorade flavor. And you know, usually like it was like a drunken night. I went to the gas station and I grabbed that. I was like, oh, this is the one she likes, and she like stopped everything. She was like, wait a minute, why did you get this? Why did you get this? I'm like, what do you mean? Why did I get this? I said, because I see you drink it. Like, and she was just, I'm like, that would be like, why? Yeah, okay, it's one thing to grab me water, but to know that I like drinking sparkling water, that's another level. Like, you know, I love drinking sparkling water, and that's how she felt. She was like,
she really do love sparkling water. It's very annoying.
I do that
for sure. It was good.
You heifers will never get no more of my sparkling water. Y'all be wasting it, thinking that my sparkling water's gonna be your guinea pig.
They look like champagne, but it's
It's delicious, and it quenches my thirst, and I go through like half a case every day. So, but yeah, so I thought that was interesting. But as time went on, and I really get into these quizzes. Like, y'all remember the quizzes like Cosmopolitan used to do, like back in the day?